This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Yay, Media Group. We've got 7 ready-to-drink protein drinks, 2 registered dietitians, and Lily, my 12-year-old neighbor who just might be something of a super taster. We'll all be weighing in on these ready-to-drink protein drinks. Which ones pass the kid test and earn our Eat Fit seal of approval? Tune in to this week's episode to find out.
A quick note before we dive into today's podcast. If you like what you hear, I would love for you to subscribe to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, wherever you download your podcast. It would also be incredible if you take a minute to rate and review this podcast. Those things do matter and they really help us.
I'm Molly Kimball. Welcome to Fueled, a wellness and nutrition podcast. I'm a registered dietitian and nutrition journalist with a passion to help people live their strongest, healthiest life possible. In my weekly TV segments and columns, there's a limited amount of time and space to cover everything, but there's so much more to share. This podcast is my opportunity to dive deeper into the topics you want to know about.
Welcome to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, the podcast that cuts through the hype to bring you science-backed strategies for living your strongest, healthiest life. I'm Molly Kimball, registered dietitian, and today we're going head-to-head, or really sip-to-sip, with ready-to-drink protein shakes. They're everywhere. We've got them in gym bags, convenience stores, even school lunches. But do the nutrition claims actually hold up? And which ones really taste good enough to add into our usual rotation? So to find out, I've recruited 2 very special taste testers. We've got Brittany Craft, registered dietitian of our Eat Fit team at Oxnard Health. She's, of course, as a byproduct of her profession and her work with us with Eat Fit, she is a veteran of many, many, many label reading deep dives. And then we've got Lily, my 12-year-old neighbor whose unfiltered palate keeps us all honest. We'll be tasting 7 different ready-to-drink protein shakes. We've got 3 plant-based. One is by the brand Evolve, 2 by a brand called Owen. And then we've got Pioneer Pastures, Core Power, Iconic, and Orgain. So we're going to be rating each of these on the just overall flavor, the sweetness, the flavor. Lily's really good about giving us that smell response to what does it smell like right when you're opening it? What do you get from that first sip? What about the sweetness, the flavor, the texture? And of course, we'll be weighing in on the nutrition facts. What's the protein, the added sugar, the electrolytes like? What's it made with? What are the ingredients in there? Does it have anything that's synthetic or all natural? I'll say a couple of things here before we get started. We only have 1 drink in here that has any type of artificial sweeteners. And spoiler alert, that's Core Power. I'll talk about this a little bit more as we're doing our taste test, but the reason I included Core Power is that it's everywhere. It's in all types of convenience stores, gas stations. It is now owned by Coca-Cola, so we see it in so many places at a price point that can be really widely accessible. So I wanted to include this one as well. Plus, it really is a fan favorite. A lot of people really like it. So spoiler alert, we will be talking about one that has the artificial sweeteners, and that's Core Power. As we were doing the taste test that you're going to be hearing coming up, and I had Lily and Brittany sitting here right with me. I'm doing the intro after the fact. While we were here, I did not have Iconic. I was having a little bit of a hard time finding it locally in stores. So I had ordered it online and it arrived like literally 2 hours after we had wrapped up our taste test. So I brought it to each Lily and Brittany separately to try. So I'll share their feedback. I'll share their feedback at the end. So it's kind of all in chronological order a bit. But the reason I really wanted to make sure that we included Iconic, it's another natural, it's a grass-fed milk protein that it's made with. It doesn't contain any artificial sweeteners. It's sweetened with the natural plant-based sweeteners that we talk about. But what's different, especially about it, is Iconic was created by a group that was based out of New Orleans. And I worked with them to create this product years ago, over a decade ago. And they came to me and said, hey, we want to create a drink and we want to get your input on it. And so it was one of these like, gosh, if we were going to dream up what goes into it. And it was the first time I'd ever had the opportunity to do something like that. So it was a really fun process getting to work kind of behind the scenes on the creation of a product like that. Over the years, the company has since moved out of New Orleans. They've sold, it's grown, it's a lot bigger. The product as it stands is not, it's similar to what we created, but it's definitely evolved and it's a different product inside of that bottle than what we had originally done, but I still really like it. So I felt really strongly that I wanted to get their feedback. So again, I'll weigh in at the end with both of their feedback on Iconic after you hear their feedback on the others as well. The last thing I want to kind of talk about, you'll hear us as we're smelling and sipping, you'll hear some of the feedback is, gosh, it's almost like there's something that's a sharp or a little bit more a sharpness or a bitterness on some of the protein drinks. And after we went through them all, and I was really kind of thinking about 12-year-old Lily's feedback and our dietitian Brittany's feedback, and I was looking at the ingredients, some of the ones that seemed like they had almost a bitter taste or a metallic that I was wondering, is it because it's got more vitamins and minerals? Is that what's bumping it up? But after I took their feedback and I went back and looked really closely at the labels, it wasn't really adding up that some of the ones that had kind of that bitter or almost medicinal, sometimes it was a smell, and the smell doesn't always match up with how it tastes. So sometimes that smell comes at you really strong that it might be like a vitamin or a little bit of a bitter, sharp smell, but then the taste is really smooth. So the taste doesn't always match the smell of these drinks. But when I went back and looked, the vitamin minerals, that wasn't always adding up of why they were perceiving that. And I understood what they were perceiving. Some being really smooth and some having that sharpness. And so I think what I've kind of come up with as you hear their feedback, I mentioned Core Power contains the artificial sweeteners, asulfame, potassium, that's what's in like Coke Zero or Sprite Zero, and also sucralose, that's Splenda. So taking that out of the equation, all the others have either monk fruit or stevia or both. And so you would say, well, if they all contain it, then why do some taste more bitter than others? We can see that these sweeteners are used on the label, but of course we don't know just how much, what these ratios are, what percentage of the volume of this is monk fruit and or stevia. So we can see that they're all sweetened with, most of them have both. Some have just monk fruit. But again, we're not able to see just how much of it. So my guess is that some of that kind of sharp effect that they were picking up on may be from that stevia and monk fruit. And we've done podcasts before on these plant-based sweeteners, and stevia and monk fruit are both over 200 times sweeter than sugar. And you can kind of compare them to the like really intense sweetness of something like Equal or Sweet and Low. They're like that much sweeter. So you just need a little dab of it for sweetness. And some people, especially with monk fruit, are really sensitive to the bitter effects of it. So it's a real fine line between how much it's sweetening and us picking up on the bitterness. So sharing a few of those things that after we did the taste test that you're about to hear, I was kind of processing and thinking through why did some of these things happen. So I wanted to share with y'all that on the front end so that as you're hearing the taste test all unfold, you've kind of got that intel and we're thinking through it ahead of time and why we're getting some of that feedback. So with that, we'll turn it over to our taste test. Here we go. All right. So welcome, Lily. I'm so happy to have you back with us.
Hi.
You've done 2 so far.
Yes.
We did plant-based milks. Do you remember what your favorite one ended up being?
I think I like the almond milk.
Malk. Yeah. So the Malk is, I was actually really surprised that was Lily's favorite. It doesn't have any thickeners, stabilizers, anything in it. It's basically just almonds, milk, some salt, and water, but just super simple. And Brittany, the drinks there was some that we had like oat milk and flax. Yeah. And I always think it's neat, and not to put pressure on you, Lily, but I know this is going to put pressure on you, but you could she can pick up on the flavors that are in there. Like if it was oats or flax, she's picking up on it because we did that as a blind taste test.
Wow. That's impressive.
Very impressive. The first one we did was peanut butter cups.
Yes.
And we had almond butter, peanut butter, all different types. We had like maybe 5, and that was a blind taste test also. Mm-hmm. And that's when it first struck me, because Lily was picking up on things like, oh, it tastes like it's got milk in it. I'm like, milk? And then I'll look at the ingredients. I'm like, yes, it does.
I feel like we need to blindfold Lily for this, even though we're looking, so we can see what she picks up on.
I know. You're right. You're right. Well, so we're not going to have Lily guessing anything, but I did want to bring you in because protein drinks are one of those things that it can be super individual. Some people love certain brands. Other people don't like it at all. Some can feel very watery. Some may feel thicker, sweeter. They're just run the full spectrum. So we have, for our listeners, we have little glass cups so that we can see the color through it. And we'll weigh in on like what it looks like, the thickness and all that stuff. And Britt, you've done one before or 2?
I think just one.
Okay.
Yeah, we did Halloween alternatives to candy.
Yes. Which you know what we do here, what we hand out. So for our listeners, we do Halloween non-candy toys and such. Yeah. Britt did that this year and the year before.
We've done it a couple years now. Honestly, I find it less expensive and more fun, and I have so much, this is funny, but I'm a dietitian. I have so much candy in my house because it's gifted to us for every single possible holiday by like family members, and it just piles up. So I have no reason to want to buy more candy.
And toys are something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with protein drinks, one of the things that I think is important for us to say first is you don't have to have a protein drink to be healthy. And if someone's trying to increase their protein, I'm saying this to Lily, like as if after this, Lily's going to be like, Mom, I'm going to start drinking protein drinks daily, whether you like them all or not. But, someone's trying to kind of turn over that healthier leaf and they are trying to get more protein in. Protein drinks can just be that extra source that makes it easier. They're versatile. So sometimes, I've had clients use these and put it over cereal instead of milk. Milk has like 50% more sugar than protein. So a cup of milk has 8 grams of protein, 12 grams of sugar. And a lot of these drinks we're going to be looking at have 20 and up of protein and no sugar. So a real different shift in terms of protein and carb, much higher protein, lower carb than something like milk. It can also work in coffee, iced coffees, smoothies. Kerrigan at the station who we do the TV segments with, she does oatmeal or kind of overnight oats and puts this in there and it's a ready to drink protein instead of milk. So there's all different ways that it can kind of help you sneak protein in a convenient way, but they're certainly not necessary to live a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Anything else, Britt, to weigh in on that part?
Oh, I think those are all great. My husband drinks a protein drink for breakfast every day just because he's not going to have the time to prepare something otherwise.
I'm not a breakfast person, so I'm kind of excited. I might like these because, like, I usually eat, like, a Go-Gurt in the morning, like, every single morning, and then I'm, like, hungry, like, 10 minutes after, but I'm not a breakfast person, so this might be better.
You're right. And yeah, we can sell the idea. I don't want to say sell the idea to your mom, but yeah, we can like talk with her of why these could be better than a Go-Gurt. And all of the ones that we have today, one has an artificial sweetener, but all of the others are have a natural plant-based sweetener. So there's nothing artificial in here. And what Lily said was interesting, that when we do have something that's mostly carbs, something like Go-Gurt, it can make it something that their carbs break down really quickly. And so if we have something that is just carbohydrate, and something like a Go-Gurt is more sugary carbs. So the fact that we have something like that, we can be hungry soon after. And when we have something that higher protein level keeps us fuller longer. And so for things like our mental focus, alertness, when we're not hungry, it's easier for us to focus, so they can be good. And Britt's husband having that, my husband keeps these in his gym bag because you don't have to keep them refrigerated. So he doesn't mind it being room temp. And I say gym bag, but it's his tennis bag. So when he's hitting tennis, this will be his pre-workout. And unlike protein powders, first, because if you're using a protein powder and making your own protein shake, you have to blend it. There's the time, there's, the cleanup, or if Lily was having that on the way to school, then what are you doing with whatever you're drinking it out of once you got there? But what also sets these apart from a workout perspective is they're high in electrolytes. So we can kind of weigh in on that as we go too. So a ready to drink protein drink can take the place of your protein. It gives you that hydration, and it can give you the electrolytes like what you would get from a sports drink. So with that, Britt, do you want to go through the order that we're going to be covering them?
Yeah. We're going to start plant-based. So we'll do Evolve first. Do you want to hear all about it now?
Let's hear about them as we go. Yeah.
Okay. So Evolve, we've got 2 varieties of Owen, which is OWYN, only what you need.
Did you know that before, or does it say it on the bottle?
It says it. So I've always known it from reading it the first time, but
I've not looked that closely at it. And so I've never even noticed it. But do you see, Lily? It's like,
Oh, yeah, it says it at the top.
so when Kerrigan and I recorded the other day, I thought she was brilliant. I thought, how do you know what this means? And it's like right there on the
solved
label.
the puzzle. Yeah. So we have 2 varieties of that. Both are plant protein too, but we've got the Pro Elite that we'll do second, which is a little higher in protein. We've got Orgain, and then we're getting into dairy now. So Orgain, and then Pioneer Pastures, and then we'll do Core Power last.
Okay. And we should also mention that none of these are sponsoring this. There's no money. There's no anything. It's just, these are some that are common that you find in stores. I found actually most of these at Whole Foods. Something like Core Power is a Coca-Cola product, which means if you see Coca-Cola products, even at a convenience store or something like that, you'll see Core Power. Brittany and I have been working with the food service space inside of Oshner Health, having healthier options clearly visible in like even vending machines. Core Power's there. So that's why I pulled that one. It is the only one that does have the artificial sweetener, but it also is very, very easy to find, making it kind of a, almost no matter where you are, if you see Coca-Cola stuff, you can find that Core Power there. Do we want to get into the taste test? Is there any other things that we want to say, some groundwork first? Okay. We'll move on. So we'll start with the first one, and the first is Evolve. And Britt, if you can tell us the calories, the protein, the sugar, and then kind of the main gist of this one.
Okay, so this is Evolve. It's a plant-based protein shake. So we're doing vanilla of all of them as we compare. This one is 140 calories. It is 15 grams of carbs. This has 10 grams of fiber, so it's a little higher than some of the other ones we're going to try today. 4 grams of sugar, and all 4 are added sugars. And then I think I said 20 grams of protein altogether.
So with the 10 carbs and 5 fiber?
And 10 fiber. So 15 grams of carbs, 10 fiber.
So 5 net carbs.
And 4 of those are sugar.
4 of those are sugar. And how much protein?
20 grams.
20 grams.
And this one's sweetened with stevia. And it's pea protein isolate.
Okay. And so pea protein is like what we had in the Ripple milk. Okay.
So I'm going to make sure I shake all these up before we go for it. And then they're nice and cold. So I'll say that probably is going to change the texture a little bit if you're tasting it.
Doing the pour. The color of this one is a little bit yellowy.
Yeah.
And we're using our same cups. So we've got small sips that we'll be doing in each of these. And then we have some water to palate cleanse as we need.
Probably went a little heavy for our first one.
It's good.
Hope you like it.
And so Evolve, this is one that I found the brand at health food stores like Whole Foods. Lily, let's let you weigh in first.
It smells good.
Smells sweet.
I like it. It's kind of like the texture is kind of thin. It's not like super thick, but it's not like watery. It's kind of in the middle. Kind of tastes like bitter almost, and like not super sweet.
I would say there's a little bit of a bitter aftertaste, but like the sweetness hits me first, and then at the end you have a little bit of a bitterness. But the smell is like overwhelmingly vanilla to me.
The smell has a strong vanilla smell. Do you think it tastes like it smells?
Not really.
Yeah, it smells. I think it smells better than it tastes. Okay.
I wouldn't say the bitterness would make me not drink it though, but it is there.
I don't mind it at all. I don't think I would want to drink. I don't know that I would have it every day, but I don't mind it. Do y'all need a swish of water, or do you want to do? We can swish out our cups, or you can sort of double pour.
We get to have a watery version after everyone.
And we are.
I spilled it on me.
We don't have. It's not like a wine tasting where we have a dump bucket. We're just drinking our protein drink water in between. Okay. So our next one that we've got two of the Owens, OWYN. So I guess the Evolve, what we would say on that, it's sweet, but it's not super sweet. A little bit of that bitter after effect. Lily picked up, Brittany too, and I agree with those. The smell smells really vanilla. The flavor doesn't match up. It's kind of in the middle in thickness, not super thick, not super thin.
Yeah.
I think it's a decent option.
Yeah.
If someone is not having milk products, or they're looking for a plant-based option, that one's good. We should mention that is the one. The first two have 4 grams of added sugar. All the rest of them do not. So we'll go into this next one is the Owen, only what you need.
Always also non-dairy. So this one is 170 calories. It is 8 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fiber, and then 4 grams added sugar and 20 grams of protein.
So a similar profile to what we just had.
Lower fiber, but I'll take lower carb as well, obviously. And then we've got, it's their signature protein blend. So this protein's coming from pea protein, pumpkin seed protein, and I guess flax oil is mixed with their protein blend. But,
okay.
And then we've got the sweetener is monk fruit.
Okay.
Y'all ready? Woo! It's splashing me out of the top of the bottle. This one looks thinner already. Yeah.
The other one was stevia as the sweetener.
Yes.
And so stevia and monk fruit, both really kind of high intensity sweeteners. Interested to hear what you think of this one, Lily.
It does not smell as good as the other one. It's like sour kind of smelling a little bit.
You know what it smells like to me? Vitamins.
Oh, yeah.
It probably has more fortification of vitamins in it.
That one is, it tastes very like, I don't know what other word to use other than planty.
So
It tastes very earthy.
you're the super taster. So they have a greens blend in here. Broccoli, spinach, and kale. Well done. That's funny. This one's also yellowy. We didn't really mention that, but it's very thin compared to the one we just tried.
And so we'll do our wash through. Okay.
Do I have to drink it all?
No. Here, you can dump it in mine and we'll.
I actually don't mind the taste of this one.
Thank you.
But I think it is definitely earthy, or you can do your little swish and it's definitely earthy. And I think it's interesting. There's a greens blend, which that's something to keep in mind. If this is something that you're going to mix with, say, your coffee or iced coffee, that might be a reason you might not choose something that has a greens blend in it. And then we can go ahead and pour that one while we're kind of talking through. So looking at these things, and there's protein powders that have greens blend too. And again, if you're making it into your coffee, may not be the best fit, but if you're going to put it in a smoothie with other stuff, we could. The next one we're doing is also the Owen blend. So instead of 20 grams of protein, this has 32, and it has 0 sugar. Oh wait, I've got to
We mix it. This one pours out like honey. It's so thick. I mean, obviously better than honey, but wow.
So super thick.
We didn't say what this one is either.
Okay,
though.
so this is the Owen, the similar brand, 32 protein instead of 20, and 0 sugar. Also plant-based protein.
Yeah.
Anything else notable on there before we go in?
Same protein blend. We don't have, we do have the greens blend too.
Oh, okay. Let's see what you think, Lily.
Monk fruit.
The smell is a lot stronger in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Still tastes a lot more
Wow.
planty,
This one tastes
earthy.
like vegetables to me.
Tastes like a big carrot.
It's very thick too.
Yeah.
I think it would be hard if you were going to have a workout to drink a whole one of these.
It almost
Okay.
feels sour at the end too. But this one's my least favorite so far.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. And this is really good that we're doing this because the nutritional profile on it is so much better. Instead of 20 protein, it's 32. Instead of 4 sugar, it's 0. So based just on a label, this would have been one that I would say, let's do this for a plant-based option. But the thickness of it, I think, would be really hard to manage. The only thing is, if someone were using it instead of like a cream in something, maybe that thickness could work.
If you were also mixing it with like a stronger tasting thing, I think it could be okay.
Brittany
also-
said that almost with pursed lips too, because you were still holding over from it. Like,
I'm glad
okay.
we tasted both of that brand though, because that just
Yeah.
goes to show you, even within the same brand, you can get vastly different experiences.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. We're going for Orgain next. So we're going into the dairy protein shakes now. This one's chocolate.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I meant to get vanilla, but
You want to go chocolate? Okay.
we've got it. Yeah.
160 calories, 7 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, but 0 added sugars.
Okay.
And 30 grams of protein.
So the first two we tried 20 grams of protein. Once we got to that 32, it was super thick with those plant-based ones. This is the Orgain, which is a milk-based protein. And so 30 grams of protein, but it's still a small container. Like it's, you shook it pretty well. Sorry that I did chocolate for us. That was an oversight. We had it already in our fridge, and I forgot that Brad almost exclusively does chocolate drinks instead of vanilla. The good news about this one, so Lily, if you do like this one, is it's Costco sells it.
Oh,
Do you have a membership, a Costco membership?
I think I've seen it in Conseco's though.
Oh, yeah. It's
I'm just spilling protein all over.
It's
what
good.
you're doing, all over.
I personally like chocolate better, so I might have a favorite.
You might be
kinda.
swayed.
Might be a little biased on this one. It smells like hot chocolate, but like a cold version.
And this one's got monk fruit and stevia in it.
It tastes just like chocolate milk. I love this.
I think it feels like a little heavier and thicker to me than
Yeah.
like regular chocolate milk, but the taste is similar.
So far, and the difference too may be, while Britt's getting the next one ready, I'm going to look at the vitamins and minerals of those others, because it's hard to tell from those first ones that we tried. Was that off taste we got, was it from the greens blend or was it from the vitamins, minerals? Because it's good. Vitamins and minerals is like the calcium, it's the electrolytes, it's good stuff to have in there, but too much and you can pick up on it taste wise. Okay, so far Orgain is our first milk-based one we've tried. What about the thickness on it?
If you had to like explain it in like a texture way, it's a little bit thicker than like pre-made like chocolate milk, like that you get in like the jug that you don't like add chocolate syrup into.
But not nearly as thick as the other one we just tried.
Yeah, it's a little bit thinner.
Okay.
Right.
This next one is Pioneer, and this is also a milk-based protein, 30 grams of protein. It does specifically, it has a little bit of a different type of milk protein, the A2 protein, which some people can find more digestible. But tell us about the sugar, and is it 0 sugar, Britt?
0 added sugars, 2 grams total.
And-
there are only 3 grams of carbs for the whole
Okay.
thing.
So 3 grams carbs, 30 protein. What's the sweetener?
Monk fruit.
Okay. And so with these milks, a lot of times they can be ultra filtered, is probably how they're getting some of that carb out.
Yeah, there's actually, I'm not even seeing, and you can look at this and back me up, Molly, but there's no like added protein at all. The whole thing, the first ingredient is just filtered low fat milk.
Okay, so Lily, this is an interesting thing on milk. So you don't think about milk as having like solids in it, but if you actually like ultra filter, so imagine like a filter you can't even see, it's so thin, like the little holes in it, like almost like a colander, but super, super thin filter. And you can actually filter out the milk, so the carbs are filtered out and the protein in the liquid comes out in the milk. So they'll call it ultra filtered milk, and it's basically milk that they filter the carbs out. So you're left with the protein in the liquid, but not all the carbs.
And it's lactose free.
And it's lactose free because the carbs in milk are actually what give you the sugar, which is your lactose. This is natural sugar. So
I'm excited about this one. I like this, that it's so different.
It's definitely like almost the same like thickness of like normal milk.
And the color
Like
too.
whole milk. And it looks like
It's not quite as white as milk, but it's not as yellow as the ones we looked at. Okay.
it tastes kind of like milk too.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a distinct like vanilla smell that makes you tell it's not milk, and a little bit of that taste too. But honestly, I think this one's my favorite so far just because it feels closest to milk. Like if you're putting something in a cereal instead of milk, I think this one would be your sub.
With a little bit of a sweetness to it, a little bit more of a sweetness than milk. So
Kind of leaves like a weird texture in your mouth. It's like very like, it's not thick, but it kind of like coats your mouth in a way.
if you run your tongue on the back of your teeth, a little bit of that chalkiness.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So as you're looking at that and we say, well, what's the protein source? It's just milk, but because it's that ultra filtered, they filtered out the carbs. So there's a lot of difference in these. And I want to look real quick at the calcium and such. So like the calcium in this, the calcium in a carton of this is 700 milligrams of calcium.
Wow.
Which is like almost like you would, more than what you would get in like 2 cups of milk is in this. It makes sense because it's 11 ounces, I guess. But and with all of these, when we talk about the electrolytes, and I'll kind of talk through this as Britt's opening the next, all of these have a decent source of sodium, potassium, calcium, sodium being the main electrolyte that we would need with hydration replenishment like you would get in a sports drink. So with all of these, we won't go through the numbers because it does get a little numbers heavy as we're looking at all these things in it. But know that every single one of these we've talked about so far has the electrolyte content like what you could get in just a regular traditional sports drink. And it varies in terms of sodium, potassium, and calcium, but they all are good sources of that. Okay, so this last one that we've got, this is number 5 of 5. This last one is the Core Power. I'm not going to say anything more. I want to get your thoughts on it first, and then we'll go through what's in it.
It's basically the same kind of thickness as the other one. It's not very thick, but it's not very thin.
It kind of coats the glass when you swirl it.
Yeah.
Is it it seems like it might be the lightest in color of the ones so far.
Yeah.
And this is Core Power Vanilla.
Doesn't smell like much. It's kind of like, I don't know.
It's not a strong vanilla smell.
I like this one.
This one has a strong vanilla taste to me, though.
I
So
like it.
these are like both these both. The one we tried, Pioneer Pastures, and then the Core Power. Those are both ultra filtered milk. So like similar creation, but this one tastes much more sweet and vanilla to me than the other.
The Core Power tastes very much like something, but I don't want to describe it yet. Tell me more about like what you kind of get from it. Like if you're going to compare it to something.
Okay, so I like these like little like cartons of milk that you get at the grocery. They're like vanilla milks. I'm not sure what the brand of them is, but they're really good and it tastes exactly like that. But those are really like sugary and unhealthy, so I don't get them all the time. But this is kind of like a better version of it.
Anything else you want to weigh in on it?
I wish I had more to taste.
I can give you more.
there's a whole
I have a whole bottle. I was giving you just a little bit because some of them you didn't love.
It's a little bit thicker than milk when you taste it.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of coats your mouth when, like, if you were to drink milk.
Not gritty though.
Yeah, it's not.
It's still, it's like a smooth coating.
Tastes like a milkshake.
Yeah, I think it tastes like a milkshake. To me, what it tastes like is melted ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you let it, I love like the edges. Like if I'm eating ice cream, I love the edges that melt and you kind of get your spoon in it and it's just like like liquidy ice cream. I just, for some reason, like melted ice cream. And this one tasted more like that to me.
It does. Yeah.
All right. So do you want to have any others that you want to revisit? Do you want to taste the Orgain next to this one again and do another like back and forth and see if your favorite holds up?
Yeah.
We can do a clean out, or you can probably just put it on top of that one.
Yeah.
So the Core Power, real quick, while Lily's getting that one together, the Core Power is the one that we mentioned is the only artificially sweetened one that we tasted today. All the others, you heard Britt say, have monk fruit, stevia, some other type of plant-based natural sweetener. This has sucralose, which is Splenda, and it also has asulfame potassium, which is the sweetener that's used in things like Coke Zero, Sprite Zero. The reason that we still are including it, the way that I feel about artificial sweeteners is I try to avoid them when possible. And in this case, there are a whole host of other things that have the natural plant-based sweetener, the Orgain and all of these others. But the reason we're still including this one is because it is so prevalent. It's so easy to find in a convenience store and an airport and all these kind of places that you could just be like on the go, that this can be something like in a pinch is still a really good option that checks all these other boxes on high protein, low carb, all of this. And if this is the one time that someone's getting an artificial sweetener, but for the most part and the rest of their diets, they aren't, then I would say that could be, it's not the worst. So I like it. That's why we still included it. Tell me with that Orgain, what you think next to that one.
I definitely like the smell of the Core Power one a lot. This one's got like kind of like a strange kind of smell. And I like the texture and like the thickness of that one, but they both taste really good.
Like even after you had that thicker, sweeter, ice creamy milkshake of the Core Power.
Yeah.
Even after that, you come back to the Orgain and you're like, I still like it okay?
Yeah, this one, the Orgain one is kind of like not sour, but it's like got a stronger taste. It's not as like but it might be because it's chocolate.
True.
And the other one was vanilla.
It's not a very scientific taste test that we've got here. It's the one off that we had of the chocolate, but I'm going to taste it again next to that one and see. I'm with you. I still like that one a lot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, and we Brittany and I talked about the order that we did them in before you got here too. We started with the plant-based. We moved to the milk-based. We also chose to put that Core Power last because it had those artificial sweeteners, and I knew it would be thick and creamy, and it's got all these things that kind of give it that goodness because they're adding some of those kind of like, I guess, synthetic fake stuff that's making it creamy and all that. So I had a feeling that might be the one that did taste the richest and the best. So I'm happy that going back to that Orgain, that's kind of still a really simple ingredient list, is better. Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other things we want to weigh in or revisit or retaste?
My favorite still, I think, is the Pioneer Pastures, because I think I like that it's just filtered milk. And then also I think it'd be really versatile, because if you're trying to just use a higher protein option than plain old milk, like that would mix in or substitute in or put that in coffee, and it would be subtle enough that it wouldn't feel so different, but you'd get a lot of benefit from it.
So the Pioneer Pastures, the only place that I've seen this has been a Whole Foods type of a place. So Pioneer Pastures is the one that Britt's talked about. We'll also put the links to these in the show notes of the episode. But Pioneer Pastures, 30 grams of protein. It's the one with the A2 protein. So even though it's a milk protein, if someone maybe is more sensitive to milk proteins, it's a little bit easier to digest. And then the protein, 30 grams of protein, only 2 sugar, 0 added sugar. And the total carbs is 3. So when we look at 30 protein to 3 carbs compared to milk, which has 8 protein, 12 carbs, it's a really, much better ratio of protein to carbs. So as Britt was saying, the fact that it's just filtered milk, and it has a little bit of that monk fruit to sweeten it, it's naturally lactose free. It can be something that goes into your cereal, your oatmeal, your coffee, any of those things. Mm-hmm.
It kind of does what Core Power is doing in a more well-rounded way.
Yeah, a more natural way.
And I'm one who loves just milk, so that's why I think that one tastes the closest to me.
The Pioneer Pastures one would be better for like smoothies, because it's not got so much like that one. the Core Power versus the Pioneer Pastures one, I wouldn't put the Core Power one in a smoothie because it's almost like if you're trying to make like a strawberry and banana smoothie and you dump a bucket of ice cream in it, it doesn't taste the same.
It's going to be so thick. It's already so much happening with it. Like it's a standalone, as your Core Power would be your standalone. I think that's a really good point too of how do you use these? It's a lot happening in that. And if you tried to put it over your cereal, it would almost be like having like split piece soup over your cereal, the texture, like a little bit thicker of that.
Like
yes.
chunky ice cream.
Right. Okay. And then the Orgain, Lily, this is one that I think maybe we talk with your mom on because the price point on this is lower because it is at places like Walmart, Costco, all those. And so this one has, again, also 30 grams of protein, 7 carbs, going back to milk with 8 protein, 12 carbs. So it's a whole different deal. The sugar here is 0 added sugar. And then it's, this one is sweetened with, gosh, I'm like squinting to look at these labels, which is part of why I asked Brittany to read them. I was like, we'll be much more efficient time-wise if Brittany's reading them. Sweetened with monk fruit. And then also the other benefit on this, Lily, is that a carton of this gives you basically 40% of your calcium for the day, or for an adult, 40%, but 540 milligrams of calcium, which is almost like 2 cups of milk worth of potassium. And then a little bit of iron, some vitamin, a little, the smallest, it lists vitamin D on the label, but doesn't have a lot of that. But so a decent bit of nutrition in here for you too. Okay, sweet. Any other things that we want to weigh in on these? Britt's favorite, Pioneer Pastures. If you're looking for just a milk alternative, that's pretty close.
I think all are worth trying, except for maybe that one that we didn't love was the Owen Pro Elite. But the other ones were, I think if you're okay with a tiny bit of bitterness at the end, like the most slightest, then that would be a good option too for plant-based.
So Lily's favorite, the Orgain, which is also my husband Brad's favorite. It's the one that we just always keep in the fridge, which is why we had this one in chocolate. I like them all. I'm not as much a milk person. And so both Brittany and Lily, y'all are both milk people. So these are like, okay, like you've got this one that kind of resonates with you. That Orgain for you is like a chocolate milk, Lily, and the Pioneer Pastures being like a regular milk for Britt. I'm not as much a milk drinker, so I think I don't gravitate to these as my options anyway, which is part of why I wanted y'all's help. On tasting these and weighing in. Okay, we'll include the links to these and our favorites. We'll mention each of these, and then we'll have just some of the links to other segments that we've done on this that kind of talks about how you can use them, tips for using them, ideas of besides even just having them straight out of the carton. And then, keep in mind that these they're your protein, they're your hydration, they're your electrolyte, your sports drink.
Definitely good before like sports. Like this would be good before like horseback riding.
Yes.
Because again, I don't like to eat before horseback riding because I get excited and I just want to go.
It's true. Excited before something like horseback riding, or if someone has something they're nervous about.
Yeah.
They may not feel like eating as much. And sometimes if someone has different sports where they may have multiple competitions through a day, like tournaments or matches where they're playing or they're performing, like swimmers, sometimes they may be out there for hours at a time and, they're swimming, then there's a little bit of a break, and then what do they have? But their nerves are still there. And so these can be great if you want something that's going to hydrate and you're sipping, but it's not going to sit so heavy in your stomach. Even someone who's cycling, if they're a runner, any of these things.
It would probably be good for runners because I did cross country this year and I would eat like goldfish before because we would have to, my school is really close to the playground. And so we would walk to where we would run. And so you would just eat like goldfish from your lunch kit and it would be like, not like I would be hungry really like at the end, and it was not.
Are you going to run cross country next school year?
Probably. I'm not the best at it, but it was my first year. So
the first year I ran cross country, I really wasn't great at it. I was in high school and I did it as a way to start getting myself into running. And then eventually like I ran marathons and all that. So I got there, but it just took some time. I mean, even like running 3 miles at first was like really hard. Do you think that, let's say you're with all your friends, again, reminder for our listeners, you're 12, you're with your friends, you're walking, and are you comfortable carrying that with you? Like you wouldn't feel like, oh, this looks weird, or like you're like, It
looks like a little carton of milk.
Yeah. Okay,
One of my friends drank some all day well, not all day. She brings them at school for breakfast.
Perfect. Kind of the same, like filling in a gap,
Yeah.
So again, on sports drinks ready to drink protein drinks, this isn't something if Lily is like, hey, I'm, trying to make these healthier choices. We don't have to do any protein drink, but it can be convenient in all these ways that we're talking about, hydrating you, protein, giving you the electrolytes, just like a sports drink would. It can kind of check a lot of those boxes. You don't have to keep it refrigerated. You may not want to drink it hot, but it doesn't have to come straight out of the fridge. You could just have it again in your lunchbox or like your backpack for the day, and then have it whenever you're ready to have it. As long as it's been in the AC, for most people, it's going to be fine. All right, y'all. Any other things before we wrap up?
I think the takeaway from today is don't let me pour things next time.
My papers may look chocolatey, but it's fine. Everything's washable up here. All right. Thanks so much for y'all's time. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so for our listeners, I mentioned that we would talk about Iconic, which we did not get this in until after the actual taste test. So a bottle of Iconic, it's a little screw top bottle, not as much a carton as a lot of the others are, but more of a little plastic bottle, 140 calories. The protein is 20 grams of protein. It's 8 total carbs, 4 of that is fiber. So we've got only 4 grams net carbs. 0 added sugar. So 20 protein, 0 added sugar, 140 calories. It is a grass-fed milk protein in here. And so it has grass-fed milk protein isolate. And then it has the fiber that's added with chicory root fiber. Sometimes you'll see that also referred to as inulin. And then sweetened with monk fruit, sweetened with stevia. So both Brittany and Lily, I brought it to them with their other favorites that they had weighed in on. So Lily, this compared to the Orgain and the Core Power. Brittany, we compared it to the Pioneer Pastures, her favorite. And it didn't measure up, in short, for either of them. They both picked up on kind of a little bit of a sharpness, a little bitterness of it. I'll say in fairness, when you compare the Iconic, side by side with something like Orgain or that Pioneer Pastures, I see what they're saying. I get it. When I sip just the Iconic on its own and I don't have those other products next to it to compare, I'm not picking up on that at all. And so trying to be unbiased, I mentioned to y'all that I'd worked with the company originally when it was first getting off the ground to kind of provide some nutritional guidance on the direction of the product. So I'm trying not to be biased on it. And I really, I don't think that I am being that. So I can pick up on what they're talking about. But I also think that if someone is reaching for this on its own and they're sipping this as a protein drink, it really is a crowd pleaser. And they have a lot of different flavors. Vanilla is kind of the one that we all tasted here. In fact, the samples that I got in, I was like, oh, I'll bring these to work. And Brad was like, no, keep them here so you can have them in our fridge. So weighing in on that, Iconic did not edge out the Pioneer Pastures for Brittany or the Orgain or Core Power for Lily, but I think it's still a strong contender in here. So I would say the answer really, when we say which ones pass the nutritional taste test, I would say all of them do, especially those that have 0 sugar and a decent chunk of protein. So things like the Owen with 32 grams of protein, nutritionally, and plant protein, nutritionally, it's phenomenal. This was one that was probably the least favorite in the taste though. The Pioneer Pastures, 30 grams of protein and only 2 grams of sugar. That was Brittany's favorite. Nothing artificial. And that's the one that didn't even have protein powder added. It was just that ultra filtered milk. So from a nutritional perspective, definitely gets that Eat Fit seal of approval. And also from a taste perspective, it was Brittany's favorite. The Orgain, the milk protein shake by Orgain, the 30 grams protein, was one of the favorites by Lily that also met our Eat Fit seal of approval. The Core Power, I do like it, and we do include it in our Eat Fit at Oshner Health items that we talked about. I don't love that it has the artificial sweetener, but if that's the only thing that a lot of people are getting, it certainly can be an option for people. But the Orgain, as far as Lily's favorite, is my favorite nutritionally speaking, followed by the Pioneer Pastures that Brittany loved. And so we'll include the links of these products in the show notes of this episode. Grateful for Brittany and Lily to give us their time. Let me know what you think about these taste tests. If you're like, you know what, I did really enjoy this, send me a note, and you can just email me, Molly@mollykimball.com. if you liked it, if you are like, hey, here's how you could do things a little bit differently, that I would like it even better. And if there's products, other things that you want to hear us do a taste test on, especially I love getting Lily's feedback on it. Let me know that as well. So we'll include the links that we talked about. Send me a note if you like it, if there's things that you would change, and if there's things that you tried because you listened to this episode. I always want to hear about it. I am registered dietitian Molly Kimball, and you can follow me, Molly Kimball RD, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you haven't yet, please go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. Join us next time for another dose of fueled wellness and nutrition. Thanks for listening, and stay focused on living your strongest, healthiest life.